Okay, so this entire video is just gonna be me trying to get out of a reading slump. I'm just gonna read to a point where I don't feel like I'm in the reading slump anymore. But to explain, I went a whole 2 weeks without reading anything, so I'm recording this video now to get me back into reading. As far as I know, I don't know how many books I'm gonna end up reading in this video, and I don't know how long this is gonna take me.
Okay, so I started the book. I'm 67 pages in. Our main character is Jenna Chen, not Jessica Chen, Jenna Chen. And she's always felt inferior to her cousin Jessica, who has like good grades, has gone into Ivy League schools, and it's just like she seems good at everything, while Jenna tries to be like her. It seems like she can never keep up with her. And so one day at her cousin Jessica's house, there's like a shooting star thing that's happening in the sky. Jessica's like, make a wish, and so Jenna's wish is that she wished she was Jessica, and then one day she kind of just wakes up and she is Jessica. Her soul is in Jessica's body somehow, but it also seems like there's no version of Jenna anymore, because she kind of just assumed, oh, maybe someone else took over my body, or maybe Jessica took over my body, but she can't seem to find Jessica anywhere, like the actual soul of Jessica, and she can't seem to find a version of her anywhere. The love interest is someone named Aaron. It's someone from their childhood. He went off to some sort of elite academy for a while, and then he came back because he finished early. Apparently he rejected Jenna when she confessed to him a while ago. I don't know, just Jenna pretending to be Jessica right now is just getting to me in like a not good way. I like that this seems different from Anne Liang's other romances, because I think the 2 other romances I read by her were like rivals to lovers. This one seems like childhood friends to lovers. Normally I'm not the biggest fan of childhood friends to lovers, but this one seems to be doing okay.
Okay, I'm on page 108, chapter 7 of I Am Not Jessica Chen. I don't know how to feel about this book so far. Jenna just trying to do the things that Jessica used to do. It's just like stressing me out so much, because it's just like Jessica used to study for school. And so it's just like Jenna's just walking into classes she's never taken before. She's taking like these high level classes, and then Jenna's like, oh my god, I have no clue what I'm doing in this class. So then when like teachers are asking her questions she doesn't know, there's like no way for her to answer because she has no clue what she's doing. And then she also got this mysterious email from an anonymous person saying, I know what you did. There's a possibility they could be talking to Jessica, and that the story will take like some sort of dark turn. There is like a dark side to Jessica where it's like she pressures herself into doing well in school so much that it's just like Jenna wasn't aware of it until she goes looking around a room and like sees old notes. There's not too much romance so far. Aaron's only been in the book like here and there. I just want someone to find out. I can see Aaron slowly starting to realize this might not be Jessica, but also at the same time it's such like a weird thought, right? To be like, maybe they switched bodies. Like, who would think that? I think I'm kind of just waiting for Jenna to realize, oh, I don't think I can live in my cousin's body after all, because she's been thinking about I want to become Jessica without thinking like how much work Jessica actually puts in. Okay, I think I'm like over halfway. I feel like this romance is a lot less than Anne Liang's other books. I feel like her other books mainly focused on the romance, and this one, it's more like a subplot. Like, they've barely hung out in this book, which I'm kind of sad about because I want them to start hanging out. I can see the potential, and it's just like flashbacks keep happening where the time where Jenna confessed keeps appearing, right? Also, she actually told him that she wasn't Jessica, she was Jenna, but he didn't believe her, which is the only like reasonable human reaction. But still, I kind of thought he would recognize her and be like, this may sound ridiculous, but you don't seem like Jessica. And then she would be like, I'm not. But she told him and he didn't believe her. It's so sad. Although he does seem very in love with Jenna, I just want to see the romance happening, okay? Like, just let it start happening. Because I'm like 160 pages in and I feel like the romance has barely progressed whatsoever. Also, there's one thing in this book that like kind of doesn't make sense to me. She has Jessica's muscle memory, but she doesn't have Jessica's like memory, if that makes sense. Like, you'd think she'd have some, but she has like zero, none of it. But yet when she goes to like this swimming thing and does like a swimming competition, her body automatically remembers, oh, I know how to swim all of a sudden. And I'm just like, wait, other than the muscle memory thing, which made like no sense to me, this is actually really good. I kind of just want to know what happened to the actual Jessica. Like, what happened to her soul? Like, where did it go? Also, we figured out like where the mysterious email came from, or like why the mysterious email showed up. There was also a note that showed up. I just want Jenna to go back in her body. That's all I want at this point. I can feel things getting interesting though. Hopefully the romance progresses a bit more. Okay, I'm like 228 pages into I'm Not Jessica Chen by Anne Liang. I don't know, guys. I think it's taking a turn for the worse. It's a me problem though. I'm personally not a fan of childhood friends to lovers, and this is a little bit like childhood friends to lovers. So I think that's why I'm not liking the romance. Also, I just don't feel any chemistry with these two. But again, that could just be totally my issue with this trope, because I've never liked this trope before, I don't think. Like, every single childhood friends to lovers book I read, I just never end up liking. Like, I can do friends to lovers, but for some reason childhood friends to lovers is such a problem for me, and I have no clue why, because this book is like genuinely so good, and I can tell that's really good, and I think the plot plot is so interesting, and yet this romance is just not getting to me in a good way whatsoever. Like, there have been some good moments in this book. He literally confessed he fled the country because of her, which is slightly weird, but like romantic in its own way. As you guys know, I feel like I'm a very romance-driven reader. I need a romance in the book to like the book. So even if like the story is really good in here and like the plot's really good, I don't really know if I fully like this book, I'm not gonna lie. I also just feel like we don't know Jenna too well, like the actual main character. Like, I feel like we've been getting to know Jessica, which makes sense because like she switched into her body, but I feel like we also don't know too much of Jenna. I wanted to see more of the artist side of her because she's an artist, and that's what I heard about this book, and that's one of the reasons I was excited to read it. And yet I feel like we're not getting that side of her whatsoever. Also, weirdly enough, I feel like Aaron's kind of an accessory in this story. I kind of feel like he's unnecessary in some ways. Like, yeah, sure, it's sweet, he recognized her soul and everything, but it's also just like, if he wasn't here, I feel like the story would be going the exact same way. This could also be because I'm in a reading slump. I really don't know how the reading slump is going or how fixing it is going. I don't really know any methods to fix a reading slump. We'll see though. I still have like 80 pages left.
I officially finished the first book of this video. Okay, so it took me a while to decide on a rating for this book. I was in between like a 3 or 4, and then I just settled on a 3.5. I do want to say this is definitely my least favorite of Anne Liang's books, but it wasn't bad. I liked most things about this book except the romance. And I also do want to say that this isn't a romance book. It's a book with romance in it. So don't like dive into this thinking it's a contemporary romance book, because I really don't think it is. Also, I was so confused with her relationship with Jessica. I don't really know if they were on like friendly terms before, or if she like just kind of thought of her as like an acquaintance who was her cousin. Like, I was still really confused about their entire relationship. The things I liked in this book were, I think the academic struggle was very realistic, and also just Jenna realizing like, oh, I can be enough. I also did like the core lesson of this book. Just because her cousin Jessica looked like the perfect model student doesn't mean that everything was sunshine and rainbows for her. So yeah, I don't know. I think this book was a good lesson and that it was entertaining in some ways. But yeah, 3.5 out of 5. It's still a really good book. I would recommend it. It just personally wasn't for me, I don't think.
Okay, so it's been a while. It's been an entire 2 days without me reading anything. Also, I just woke up. I'm like still trying to wake up. But yeah, clearly the reading slump isn't fixed. I just didn't feel like reading anything. I was so just out of it, I guess. I don't know why. But yesterday I started First Time Caller by BK Borison. I'm like 160 pages in. It's not bad. I just don't really like the guy in this, I guess. So the guy Aiden does like this radio host thing where he gives people dating advice and like listens to their romantic stories, but he also just doesn't believe in love anymore because most of the stories he gets through this radio thing, through calls and stuff, they're like really terrible. Until one day he gets a call from the second main character's daughter, Maya, and she's like, please help my mom. She hasn't dated anyone in the past 12 years. You need to give her advice. And so it kind of leads to Aiden and Lucy having this conversation, and Lucy spiraling into this thing where she's like, oh my god, am I really this lonely to the point where my child has to call someone to give me dating advice? I love Lucy though. She's such a hopeless romantic and she's so sweet, and everyone around her wants the best for her. And then it's just like, I have such mixed feelings towards Aiden because it kind of started out with me not exactly liking him, but I didn't dislike him in the beginning. It was just like, okay, I'll give this guy a chance. I just need to read a bit more. Now I'm slowly going into the route of disliking him. The first thing that made me go, oh, okay, weird, he literally said in words, I don't do the feelings thing. Like, he was a bit more indirect about it, but he literally said that, and I'm just like, okay, we're a bit closed off. We're gonna have to pry open the feelings. Maybe I'll get used to that. Probably not, honestly. But then there was the second thing that happened where it's happened like actually a couple times already, where it's just like, if he gets in this miserable mood, it's like his mission to get everyone around him as miserable as he is. And it's not even like he's having a bad day or anything. The second he becomes like, oh, I'm way too grumpy, he starts taking it out on everyone. Like, yes, I get it, you're having a terrible time at your job, but that doesn't mean you have to start shouting at everyone just because you're in a bad mood. Like, again, I love Lucy, but I'm already feeling like she deserves someone better than Aiden, because obviously by the end of this book they're gonna get together, right? I don't know. Again, I'm only 160 pages in and I'm already dreading reading this. I meant to read more last night, but then I kind of just stayed up thinking I'd rather go to sleep. Honestly, there was another guy that showed up, and I think he and Lucy had so much more chemistry than her and Aiden. I don't know why. He just showed up for like 5 pages and I'm just like, why do I like you so much better? It was this random blonde guy who showed up at her job and was like looking to get his car fixed and everything. I don't know if he's important or not, but I'm kind of hoping he gets his own book at some point. I don't even know his name. Oh my god, speaking of guys who might get their own book in the future though, I really like Jackson. I really hope he gets his own book. Like, I don't like Aiden too much, but if Jackson gets his own book and it's the second one in the series, definitely gonna read it. But also, it's just like, there have been some really cute moments in this book. Like, there was this one scene where there was a window in between them and he like balled up a piece of paper, threw the piece of paper at the window to get her attention, and then started writing on his little notebook. He was writing to her through the window, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is so cute. And yes, there have been like little moments like that throughout the book. And I liked how in the beginning they showed him as like kind of awkward when he's first talking to someone, but then I also feel like his type of grumpy isn't the good type of grumpy. I don't know. I think I'm just looking for like that butterflies in my stomach feeling. I want that so desperately right now. Maybe I need a switch of genres after this. I don't know. Okay, so First Time Caller, I'm on page 212. I think things are looking a bit up. I don't know. I'm not getting that I'm obsessed with this couple feeling, and I'm like only halfway through this book, and halfway is 210 pages, so I'm guessing I still have another 200 pages to read. I don't think I want to DNF this book exactly. I think I just want to get this over with as quickly as possible though. Like Aiden opened up a bit about his family and everything, and I'm just like, oh okay, great. I still don't know if I like him very much, but great. Lucy is so sweet though. I think the only times I like Aiden are through her perspective, and then reading through his perspective, I just can't get over how much I kind of dislike him. I'm gonna try to binge maybe like 50 more pages tonight and then hopefully finish it by tomorrow. It's like cute. I feel like it's a standard rom-com. Maybe it's also because it might be kind of rom-com-ish. I don't know. I think I said this before, but I don't exactly like rom-com-y books. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why I don't like this book. Yep, this video's been going great so far. So far, I've accidentally run into a book that was childhood friends to lovers, and then I ran into a book that was rom-com-y. This is going great.
Okay, so it's definitely been a minute. It took me way too long, but I finished First Time Caller by BK Borison. I gave it a 3 out of 5. I don't know. I wasn't as into this as I thought it would be. It's like a standard rom-com. Also, I just couldn't warm up to Aiden that much. I really like Lucy. And like Aiden was sweet in some moments, but then in other moments I was just extremely frustrated. I thought there were some good quotes in this book though, and I wanted to like it really badly. It's just I didn't really feel anything towards this book. I didn't really feel like any butterflies reading this, or like I didn't have that buzzing feeling in my head I normally get when I read romance books that I really like. So 3 out of 5, it definitely wasn't bad. I just think either I read this at the wrong time, or I'm just not a really big rom-com person. Maybe that's my problem. I'd say I only got into romance books like sometime last year, so I think I'm figuring out my taste as I keep reading more and more, and this might have just not been for me.
Okay, so I started the next book. So far, the only thing I know about this one is that one of the main characters, Liam, I think this is dual POV because the chapters keep starting out with their names, but we haven't gotten the second main character's POV yet. But the first main character, Liam, he was out celebrating his birthday with his so-called friends when he wanders into the bathroom and he meets this stranger who's like having a hard time and everything. And Liam tries to start out this conversation, but it doesn't go well. So that was the first meeting. The second meeting happens when Liam's friends tell him they got him a birthday present, and they're like, you need to go to another room because they're staying in a hotel. And so when Liam goes into the room, he meets the stranger again who he had met in the bathroom, but Liam doesn't want to do anything, so he's like, do you just want to stay in the room and do nothing and just hang out? And so they do that, but then Liam kind of finds out that this stranger, oh right, we just figured out his name is Jonah, because he was using a fake name for a while. But Jonah, he seems to have like all these troubles, but he won't say anything. He kind of just sits there silently while Liam tries to figure him out. Honestly, I think it's pretty good so far. I'm enjoying this one in the beginning a lot more than the other 2 books I ran in this video. I feel like the writing is also pretty easy to read. I was also surprised the meet cute happened so early in this book, but I was honestly really happy about it because I needed a book that like kind of started out quick and like easy, because I feel like with the other 2 books I read, the beginning was kind of slow for me, but this one's actually going pretty well, which I'm really happy about. Okay, I think we're over the rough patch now. Not in the book, but with like my reading slump, because immediately when I got up this morning, I felt like reading, which thank God. I feel like I'm reading a bit more consistently now ever since I started reading this book. I'm 30% into A Series of Rooms by AJ Barlow. We're kind of at a point in the story where they're becoming friends and the romance hasn't really started yet. I'm hoping when the romance does start, I'll like it. I don't know, the romance books haven't been going too well for me, but so far this book is pretty easy to read and I don't feel like putting it down anytime soon. Also, it's a lot shorter than I thought because I only started reading it last night and I'm already 30% in. And also I read some this morning. Okay, Liam kind of confuses me, but not like in a bad way. I don't know, he's just so nice for like no reason. Like ever since the first night he spent with Jonah, he's been like so nice to him. He has like this soft spot for him now. But the thing is, it was like kind of like instant. Like after that first night, he's like, I want to see him again, I want to see him again. And now they keep hanging out in like random hotel rooms. So yeah, I don't know. I hope that gets explained a bit more, but it's going well so far. I think this might be the last book of the video, which is kind of surprising because I thought I would have to read more for some reason. Okay, I read a bit more today. I'm now 38% in A Series of Rooms and I'm on chapter 17. It's really cute, but I also feel like the pacing of this is kind of weird, but at the same time I kind of like it because this entire book is literally just them hanging out in the hotel rooms. Although the last chapter literally ended on Liam saying, I think I might accidentally love you, and I'm just like, wait, does this seem too soon? Like we're not even halfway through the book and he already said that. He's already fallen in love and I feel like they've barely known each other. I feel like it's been over a month at least because there are like time skips to the days where they are hanging out, but I feel like it's so quick. Although literally nothing's happened between them, and Liam said that when Jonah was asleep so he couldn't hear, but at the same time the development of this, crazy. Also at the beginning of Jonah's chapters there are like these flashbacks of him having like these traumatizing experiences, and I feel so bad for this boy. Like he's been through so much, but I'm happy to say I think I'm finally out of my reading slump. It was rough. This week was so rough, especially filming this. It was really rough because I hadn't filmed in a while, and so I feel like I was so rusty in the beginning, but I think we're good now and I'm like so motivated to film other videos now and like read other books, which is so exciting. Oh my god. Okay, I'm up. Okay, after I reviewed this book, I'm taking a nap, but I finished A Series of Rooms by AJ Barlow just now. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, and I do also just want to say I don't think 3.5 out of 5 is bad, and for a while I did think about rating this a 4-star. I don't know, by the end I just didn't know like what to feel. My rating might change later on, I don't know. I do want to say the romance was really sweet, and also the themes that were in this book were handled really well. Also, I keep forgetting to mention, but this is actually a debut review book, which is really surprising because it doesn't feel like one. The only parts I was kind of iffy about were the beginning where things happened really quickly, but other than that, I feel like the author wrote this book really well, and that if you're interested, definitely give it a chance. I think the entire time I was reading this book, I kept getting the feeling of I could really like this, but that feeling just never hit for me, which is why I think I couldn't rate it a 4. Another reason could be is that I just need a genre switch, which I'm definitely going to do after this video. Speaking of which, I think that's all for this video. I don't know, this week wasn't the best reading week, but it also wasn't the worst. I'm just glad I'm out of my reading slump. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. I'm gonna end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!